If you're really serious about creating a culture where you want people to feel safe, then hire a known whistleblower.
Well, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I'm talking with Mary Inman, partner at Constantine Canon, head of international whistleblower practice, someone I have found on LinkedIn who has a really interesting insight around whistleblowing and governance. And I just want to thank you, Mary, for coming on and talking with me today.
It's my pleasure, James. Really happy to be here. My career has been almost 30 years representing people who have done the most extraordinary things in terms of the sacrifices they've made to speak out about corporate wrongdoing. And boy, they should be the top people that a company should be trying to recruit.
What are some of your insights around organizational structures and how you create cultures where people feel safe enough to bring forward ideas that could be uncomfortable for leaders to hear?
Yeah, I think that is the $1 billion question, if you will, because I think if people could unlock that secret, we would be a much richer society. So I think most important, in moving the conversation forward in terms of finding a way to embrace whistleblower voices. Research now shows that companies that have whistleblower internal reporting mechanisms that are robust, where people feel safe to speak up, actually are more profitable than companies who don't. I like to start grounding ourselves in that research because it illuminates what I think we all know. Whistleblowers are the canaries in the coal mine. They are forward indicators of risk. If you create an environment where they can speak up about wrongdoing or problems, then they give the company time to react. I like to start by saying we need to normalize whistleblowing and we need to get out of our medieval mindset, which is that you're hardwired to shoot the messenger in order to divert attention away. We're all hardwired. When someone holds a mirror at you and reflects back something that is not always flattering, not always your best self, the more that we start to understand that not only are the people who have the temerity to tell you this, they are actually the most loyal people. The easy thing to do is just go along and be a yes person, really looking at the reality on the ground and what the research shows, which is whistleblowers, they're the most loyal. They speak the hard truth.
And I really like that concept that there's also this narrative, this story that we've got around what does it mean to be a whistleblower? What does it mean to come up and say, hey, this is a difficult thing, but I need to tell you this. Like you said, our hardwired mindset is, oh, they're giving me bad news, avoid. When in reality, they're the ones that care enough to say, hey, I care enough about our organization and mission to say this is where we're going to fall off the cliff. We need to avoid that. What are some things that you found could be done practically for a leader to lean into the difficult conversations and change the narrative around what does it mean to bring forward uncomfortable truths?
Yeah, I think that the growth mindset, that this is a safe place to explore and try out new muscles. Like it's okay to get outside their comfort zone and feel safe, try new things. One of the things that's so important to innovation, right, is this idea of disruptive. One of the first things to do is how do you teach courageous conversations? That is not something that's easy for us to do. A little training is needed. You have to exercise those muscles and say difficult things and practice how to say it in order to receive it. It's really about creating an innovative spirit.
I like that. As a longtime public servant and one who's coached and trained thousands of senior executives in the Australian public service, this concept of some of these micro skills of leaning into difficult conversation. The yes and is a brilliant micro skill. Yes and is a stop measure for you to not react, but to enable you to respond. And these critical conversations.
This is the term that Wendy Addison, a South African whistleblower, has coined. I really like it because it is a courageous conversation to have. Technology has created a really helpful dynamic. Now have, thanks to technology, two-way anonymous reporting systems. outcomes. Even before they decide they want to give documentation about the wrongdoing, there can be a two-way conversation about, hey, here's how our whistleblowing policy works. Hey, here's how we ensure your name is going to be kept confidential. It's this process that has allowed more people to get to a comfort level with the people that they're reporting to, that they then feel safe enough to often identify themselves and say, okay, now I feel comfortable that I'm actually fine to tell you who I am.
Well, and that also then contextualizes what it is that we're doing with whistleblowing. This is part of our daily business process. This is something that we just do because it's our way of finding out where the landmines are so that we can address those. And it's our way of creating a safety net, a sense of security for those people that need to put that information forward but are afraid of reprisal. What's something that you're currently promoting that you'd really like to get out there, a message for leaders that they should be thinking about to enable a better world, really?
Yeah, I love that question. There's a couple things I'm promoting currently, and I consider them sort of the big ideas, the things that will really move the needle in improving society. And so right now, we are suffering from a brain drain. And it is one of the things that I find particularly unfortunate about the whistleblowing phenomenon is that we all hear unfortunate stories about whistleblowers who are retaliated against and blacklisted and never work again. There's this unfair power differential where the person who's on behalf of the entire public in the public interest, the one who bears all the burden. But I think there's another way to look at it, at a more nuanced feeling, which is that society at large suffers when these people are blacklisted because we're now sidelining some of the most productive, some of the most loyal and ethical employees. So my big idea, start coming up with job boards and other ways where we challenge companies to say, if you're really serious about creating a culture where you want people to feel safe, then hire a known whistleblower. What speaks more to your culture and your seriousness about speak up than hiring a whistleblower? It would help the individual whistleblowers, but more importantly, it helps society at large. I would try and create that kind of a platform, a job board, that would enlist the help of companies who are serious about wanting high quality candidates and sending the signal that these people are really important and valuable employees.
These people, to continue and persist, are taking an ethical stand. They're speaking truth to power, and that's an incredibly difficult thing. Aren't they the noble ones that one would be wanting in your organization, wanting to retain, wanting to find? Mary, how would people go about connecting with you?
Yeah, I'm very active on LinkedIn, so I can be found there. Also, I'm on Twitter at Mary Inman 94. I do a lot of blogging and a lot of conferences, but I'm also available just on my work email. I'm happy to be contacted in any of these ways. People should feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much, Mary, for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, James.
If you'd like to know more, contact me, James Samana, at LinkedIn, or info@insightfulpath.com.au. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.
I say surround yourself by inspirational people and have a calling, not a job.